Hello, welcome back to another episode of Mic Drop Mondays. It's your girl, Alyssa Simpson. Hi, how are you? If you're new here, hi. Again, Alyssa Simpson. I am the founder of Restfully Rich, and it is a methodology. It is an ecosystem that I have birthed and created, which essentially is all about teaching women how to still hold on to their ambition and to their high achieving ass attitudes without the burnout, without the masculine struggle, because so many women in business and so many women in general who are high functioning and ambitious, they are taught to use that ambition and that high achievement energy through the masculine lens. But there is a more feminine way that's going to allow sustainability and generational wealth to actually be a part of your life. Because around here in this space, we give a big middle finger to the girl boss babes, the hustle culture, all of that bullshit. And we get real and raw and authentic about what being restfully rich actually is. And just this past week, I was having a conversation with someone who I go through everyone who is in my environment and I try to have conversations with them, right? Because I'm a firm believer. I just view social media totally different than a lot of people do. I don't view it as just like a magazine where I'm just flipping through the pages, mindlessly consuming, right? I like to have interactions with people who are in my space because in my mind, I'm like, if you're here, I want to know why you're here. Are you here just to consume? Are you here to eventually get into this ecosystem? Are you here because, I don't know, whatever? Like, I want to know, right? And so I was having this conversation with someone who I reached out to because I reach out to everyone who interacts with me. And some people think it's really weird. I had this one girl, she was like, this feels like a weird, like you're you're unsolicited messaging me. And it's like, you follow me. I didn't seek you out of the sea of people on the internet. And I was like, yo, I'm going to target you. Like, you follow me. You're in my space. You're in my store, like I'm going to come up and say hi to you and ask you, how can I help you if you were in a real like brick and mortar. And I explained that to her and she was like, oh, I never really viewed social media that way. And I was like, well, I view it that way. And if it bothers you, then this is not the space for you. But if you like that perspective, then stick around because I share a lot of different perspectives on things because I don't think of the way that things are normally, you know, and it is what it is. It's one of my superpowers, if you will. But yeah, if you're listening to this and you're watching this and you also have your business being run on social media, treat it like a brick and mortar, dude. Like, this isn't some like boss strategy. Like literally, like people are in your space, they're following you, they're interacting with you. You should have a conversation with them, just like you would if someone was in your store picking up a blouse going, I like this color, but not really the material of it. Wouldn't you want to know that? Wouldn't, as a business owner, wouldn't you want to like clock that information to, I don't know, or say like, then, hey, maybe this isn't the store for you, but there's a really great store over on Fifth Avenue that you would thrive in because they have exactly what you're looking for, you know? But and in the conversation I was having with this woman, she was like, well, I follow a bunch of different accounts. I follow accounts that like give me tips on how to meal prep, or like she gave me examples. That's not one of the exact examples. So if you are that woman watching this, I'm butchering our conversation, but I'm getting to the point. And sure, you can, but here's the thing, here's my view on social media, because I personally, I don't follow a bunch of accounts. If I went into these stores, and I'm assuming these people's accounts are stores, I'm going to buy something from them. I'm going to opt into their little digital product. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just follow people, and my following is I follow people who I follow is a very small number. I don't even follow my friends on social media, and I know that that can bother some people. But I just told one of my best friends last week, I was like, I don't even, like, the reason I don't follow any of my friends or anybody on social media is because I want to know what's going on in your life from a text, a phone call, from me checking in on you, from you checking in on me. I don't want to see it in your stories or on your feed. Like, I want, that's how friendship should be, right? Like, I know things about you because you shared them with me, not because you posted them for the internet to see. That's just my own 2 cents. I hope you enjoyed it. But we are going to get into the meat and potato of what I wanted to talk about today on this Mic Drop Monday. And it does go back to having a conversation with someone. And I do this periodically. I reach out to people who follow me and I just like to get a pulse check on why they're there. And that does release followers which I'm totally okay with, by the way. I'm not someone who uses my follower number as like proof of my success. I look at it as just a marker, right? Like who's here and why are they here? It also gives me an opportunity to go through and get rid of people that are there that I'm like, how the fuck did you get here? A lot of times it's men. I don't let men follow me that I don't know, because I think that's number one, weird. And number two, I'm married. Why the fuck are you here? And number three, I don't coach men, so you're never going to be coached by me. Again, why the fuck are you here? Get rid of them. I remove them. That it is what it is. But this woman, she told me, yeah, like I have such a successful business, but my home life is totally trash. And I think it's absolute bullshit when people try to sell you that you can have work life balance. So, me, I clock that as this is a conversation that I need to dive into. Not necessarily because this woman, she was not in a place to hear my 2 cents on it, because she already had this foundational belief of hers that you cannot achieve it. And I wasn't going to try to convince her, right? But if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I have that belief too. I did too. I used to have that belief too before I had my son. I was like, there's no way that these women out here who run businesses and are present with their family, there's no way, like they're sacrificing something, right? Which is another reason why Restfully Rich was birthed, because I truly do believe that you can have it all. And a big reason why women can't have it all is because these women who have these incredible, profound businesses where they are very successful on paper, right? Like they're hitting these incredible numbers every month. They have all this money in the bank. They have all of these extra um, pieces of assets and income, and they have the money to do the things, but they don't have the time, right? And all of these women that have this, they have the same fucking personality traits. And I can speak to this because I used to be one of them. They are hyper independent. They wear it like a badge of honor. They think that because they don't need help, they don't need no man, they're better than blah, blah, blah. That is their downfall. That is their detriment. That is their Achilles heel, because they believe so deeply that success only comes from them. Now, let's break that down a little bit, because if we're speaking in terms of co creation with God, source, the universe, angels, whatever resonates with you, which, hello, that's like a big piece of what I teach on as well. In and outside of Restfully Rich, if you've been here for a while, I'm very well versed, and I used to call myself a mindset and manifestation coach, but what I do now is so much more specific, and it is so much more intimate than just an umbrella of mindset and manifestation, because that is a very large umbrella. And when you are such a wide umbrella identity, then you attract all kinds of people that can technically fit under that umbrella. But I specifically am very interested in and dedicated to helping the women who have these incredible businesses that are thriving, that are, generating so much money for their family, but they don't have any time to enjoy what they've created, right? Like that is what Restfully Rich is. It's not sacrificing your business or your life. It's allowing an ecosystem to live that lets you have both, because you can have both. But if you have the belief that it's impossible, that it's bullshit to have a good work-life balance, you're right. That belief is your truth, right? Like that belief is going to show up in your reality every single fucking day. But what I'm saying is the women who believe that are all the same character. Hyper independent. I don't need no man. Honestly, and this might fucking offend you, but I'm going to say it. It's feminist brain rot is what it is, because the feminist movement is what created women to think that. Because there are women who are high achieving, ambitious as fuck, bullheaded as hell. That's me. But I am not too stuck in my power and independence to say I don't need anybody, that I got this, that I don't need no fucking help. And then we sit back and we wonder, especially women who are mothers, that talk about we don't have community. It's the patriarch that stripped community from us. Yes, because the patriarchy sold you feminism and you ate it up like fucking cake. Duh, like duh, dude. You agreed to the shit they were selling. You aligned with it, right? And you decided, you're right, I do deserve to be working just like a man. So you're going to work just like a man, but you're going to burn out like a woman because you are a woman, and women can't operate like men do. Oh, hello. Hi, we're here. So, what I want to speak to is that specific conversation that I had where this woman told me it's bullshit. You can't have work life balance. I'm going to prove it to you. in this video that you can. Number one, how you achieve the work-life balance that you might think is bullshit is by identifying, the first thing you're going to do is identify what could actually survive without your involvement. Okay? And I'm going to use me as a perfect example here. My child's nervous system cannot survive without me. My love for preparing meals that are nourishing for my family, they could survive without me, but I want my hands involved in that. Writing emails, could that survive without me? 1000%. Creating content, could that survive without me? Yes and no, because this needs me, right? Like I have to be the voice here, I have to be the face here. Like the Restfully Rich brand is me, so I need to be here. Editing, optimizing, SEO, all of those like things, they can survive without me, right? So here comes the real kicker here. And this is so much more than hiring support, because as someone who was living in her hyper independency, this was before I had my son, I was much more like, I don't need fucking anybody, I got this. And it truly did cause me so much more stress than anything else, right? Like when I'm on my deathbed and I'm thinking about my life, I don't get a fucking award and I don't get some praise for doing it all on my own. But we do see that in society time and time again. Look at that woman. She's killing it. She's doing all these things and she doesn't have a man. She's doing all these things. She doesn't have a team behind her. She's doing all these things and she doesn't ever take a break. Why the fuck are we clapping for that? Honestly, we should go to these people who are living that way and say, are you okay? Truly and honestly, what do you need? Because at this rate, something's got to give, and the first thing that's going to give is going to be mind, body, soul, babe. Like it's all connected, and your nervous system communicates to you so much louder than what your subconscious mind communicates to you. So you're going to have these manifestations come up in your body, in your physicality. I know women who operate at high capacity and they are sick every month. I'm like, dude, of course you're sick again. Like, of course you're sick again. Your body cannot operate the way you're operating. And this is literally your body, the universe, God, source, angels, your nervous system telling you, we cannot keep going this way. You got to rest. You got to take care of yourself. Like, this isn't how it needs to happen. So if the argument is, sure, you can have a work-life balance, but you have to hire support, as someone who I still am very highly ambitious. Like that's always going to be a characteristic of mine. But I've definitely leaned more into my Restfully Rich identity. And even before then, when I realized, like, you know what, I could really optimize. That's another thing the boss babe culture loves to fucking talk about, is optimizing every single part of your life. Yo, why can't we just live? Like we literally aren't meant to be optimized. We aren't machines. You know what I mean? Like we're humans, okay? I know you know this, but I gotta say it. It's not just about hiring the support, because when I was hyper independent and I was like, I don't need anybody, I was hiring support because that's what all of the coaches that I worked with would tell me to do. Like, Alyssa, you got to hire support. Like, your life would be so much easier if you hired support. I hired support and it made it, I wouldn't say easier, but it was another thing for me that I had to be mindful of, that I had to fucking check on. And it's like, I could just get this done so much easier if I didn't have this person. I'm having to babysit you and hold your hand and show you exactly how I want things done. And that's not worth my time. That was my idea. And so I kept attracting these people who would work inside of my business who weren't fully independent in themselves and confident in themselves, because I was too busy micromanaging it, right? I had this belief that if one thing gets messed up, then the whole ecosystem is going to crumble. And that simply isn't true. It's not true. Because if someone were to come in my business and do something wrong or make, whatever the fuck it is, like that's not an emergency. And I'm going to notice it more than anyone else will, number one, right? Like, and it's all just aesthetics, it's all just optimizations, right? Like, unless someone blatantly did something to my business that, I don't know, like sent out a mass email that was like fucking way left field, crazy out of pocket shit, but that doesn't generally happen. And you see these companies where they're business owned. I have like 3 examples in my head where they have a team, and this team is like very intricate. They're very important. They are professional. They get the things done that you need to get done, that you don't need to really hold their hand. But that level of relationship that is required, and we're not just talking about business here, right? Like, I'm talking about anyone who could provide support for you. You have to have the balanced relationship of feminine and masculine energy. So here's what I'm going to get into. When you are hyper independent, when you are in the mindset of things won't run without me, that is hyper masculine energy. So then you're outsourcing your support to someone who is really good at systems, who's really good at business management, who's really good at marketing, or whatever the other like masculine things are. So they need to be in that masculine energy as well. And this could be a female woman doing it. I'm not saying like masculine and feminine energy aren't specific to gender in this circumstance, but it's specific to balance here. So you hire someone who operates in that masculine energy that you have been so hyper controlling over. So then you have two masculine energies trying to make it work, and it's never going to fucking work. Because when you decide to get the support that you need, you have to lean back into your feminine, because the support you're getting is that masculine energy. You have to be able to lean back into the trusting, the surrendering, the unshakable confidence that regardless of what happens, you're going to be all right, and maybe even better than you could imagine. That is the feminine energy. So you, of course, cannot achieve a work-life balance if you are operating in your masculine in every area of your life. You've got to loosen the reins. You've got to let the control happen. And when you really get to the root of where this control comes from, you're going to sit here and realize that it's a lot of self-protection mechanisms, okay? For me, my control straight up stemmed from, I don't want to say that I had a traumatic childhood, but I definitely I had to grow up quick in a sense. Like my parents had me unexpectedly. They were in their late 30s, early 40s when they had me. I was 9 years younger than my sibling. And I was kind of like, okay, like once you are a little self-sufficient, you're on your own. So I really had to like navigate life through the adult lens at a young age. And so that was like a sense of control, because if I ever allowed anyone to take care of me like I should have been taken care of as a child, then I'm not in control and my world's going to crumble and things are going to work out for me and I simply won't make it. That's not true. That's not a fact. That was just a belief. And here's another thing I need you to do when you're going through this. Why do I feel such a control over my business? Why do I feel like if I loosen the reins a little bit, shit's going to hit the fan? Because it boils down to a limiting belief that you have somewhere. And then we get back to the whole root of mindset and manifestation, where we clear those limiting beliefs, we put new beliefs in place that are more supportive. And that's just one very small step of the Restfully Rich lifestyle. The second piece here is a lot of, and we are going to get back to the feminist side of this, because I truly do believe that the feminist ideology is so anti-restfully rich, because a lot of this hyper pro-feminist ideology is rooted in my work equals money. There's a transaction piece happening inside of hyper feminist ideology, and true feminine energy is being able to receive and attract and manifest restfully. We were designed that way by God, source, universe, angels, whatever resonates with you. We were designed that way for a reason. We were designed to be the attractors, to be the magnets, to be the thing that brings ideas to fruition. We weren't meant to be, let me trade my time for something. Let me trade this for something. Like transactional things are very masculine. Feminism has infiltrated entrepreneurship, and feminism has infiltrated boss babe hustle culture, because all of these women who are hyper independent are the same women shouting, I don't need no man. Look at what I created all on my own. And this isn't about husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, having a man in your life, not having a man in your life. That's just one example, right? That I can speak to as a wife and a mother, right? Like I can speak to that because it's my lived experience. And also because I've been doing this for such a significant amount of time, I have seen this pattern over and over and over and over again, where the boss babe culture that is under the guise of feminist, right? They are all in the same beliefs. And we're going to debunk some of those beliefs, right? that your calendar has to be so full or else you aren't truly optimizing your time. That is such a masculine ideology that is being sold to you through boss babe, girl boss, hustle culture shit. Because the Restfully Rich way says that if your life has no spaciousness at all, that you're just overscheduled, not successful. We separate the two as a restfully rich woman. The boss babe, hustle culture girls, they celebrate being exhausted, which in a restfully rich woman understands that your body deteriorating is not proof of ambition. Boss babe, hustle culture girlies really love to make being busy their entire personality, where a restfully rich woman understands that a full schedule does not mean a full life. Boss babe, hustle culture feels guilty about resting, right? There's all of this wake up at 5 a.m., get that workout in, make sure that you're doing all this other shit before 9 a.m. Where a restfully rich woman understands that rest should not feel emotionally unsafe. Boss babe, hustle culture girlies design building a business completely reliant on their presence, where a restfully rich woman understands that if everything falls apart without your presence, then you've just built another cage. Boss babe, hustle culture girlies always like to say, I can do it all by myself. Restfully rich woman understands that over-functioning does not equal empowerment. Boss babe, hustle culture girlies like to treat their time like it is infinitely expendable, while a restfully rich woman understands that your time is your life. Boss babe, hustle culture girlies really love to hustle harder whenever things start to slow down a little bit, where a restfully rich woman understands that panic should not be the thing that's leading your business's success. Boss babe, hustle culture girlies, they never unplug, but a restfully rich woman understands that your nervous system was not designed to always have constant access to. Boss babe, hustle culture girlies, they love to romanticize that burnout, where a restfully rich woman understands that burnout is not a rite of passage into wealth, and we see it all the time, that these women, these boss babe hustle culture women always talk about, you got to pay your dues, you got to hustle hard before you get there. It's everyone goes through a season where it's grind, 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 grind. It's not, though. That's your truth. You've experienced that. That's not the standard for everyone. Boss babe, hustle culture girlies really, really love to glorify that hyper independence that we've been talking about. But a restfully rich woman knows that being deeply supported is a power move. I could literally give you so many more examples, but those are just the very few. And if we really look at the root of where this boss babe hustle culture ideology has been, birthed and catered to and loved and sold to and bought, it all comes from the thing that these women are saying that they are anti of. When I really want to challenge your belief system and get you into that level of deep support, understanding that your time is so much more valuable than a dollar amount, because you can generate another $10,000 day. You can regenerate another $100,000 month, but you will never be able to get back your time. There's nothing that says that you're going to be given it back. You have memories, you have photos. It is so awesome that we have so many digital things that can capture our memories and our moments, but you will never have the lived experience again. So sure, keep hustling, keep boss babing it out. But the restfully rich women, we understand that our time is our most important asset and we aren't willing to sacrifice it anymore. If you are ready to step into your restfully rich era, the doors to my Restfully Rich Collective are open now. If you're wanting more details on how you can join, the link is below for you to check out and see what all you get access to, because inside, you don't just enter a cute little coaching container. You're deciding to completely change the trajectory of how you do life and business in a way that's going to support you, be sustainable, and be something that flows and ripples into the next generation. I'll see you next week. Bye.